Hi everyone, so welcome back to episode 4 with Keeping Up With, the online conversation series that I created due to COVID to just keep up with people's mental well-being and just to see how they're really doing. And today we have a special guest joining us, Eugenia Washington. She is a model from LA and we're going to be speaking about self-care, mental health and Black Lives Matter. So I'm going to wait for Eugenia to join us and then we'll get the conversation started. So hi everyone, thank you for joining. If you can comment below how you're feeling today, let me know how you guys are feeling and whether you're excited to join our Instagram live conversation with Eugenia. This is the second time I've actually spoken to Eugenia about mental health, so I'm really excited to have her on again. So let me just send this to her. Okay, here we go. Let me invite her. Just waiting for Eugenia to take. Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
Good. Hi, Shar. How are you?
I'm good. You look lovely.
Oh, thank you. I threw it together.
I'm loving the natural hair. It looks really nice. It really suits you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm kind of just giving it a break right now. I had it in braids. Then I was like, just leave it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks nice. And thank you for joining. I know we had a bit of a confusion with the time, but thank you.
It's okay. You're welcome. We're here.
So this is the second time we've spoken and it's so
Mm-hmm.
lovely to have you back and just to catch up and see how you are. So how are
Yeah.
you?
I am good. As you know, there's a lot going on right now with
Yeah.
the Black Lives Matter movement, with basically just people calling out racism left and right. It's just a kind of a big shift that's happening in the world right now, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pressure. It's kind of stressful a little bit. Every day is different. There's some good days, there's some bad days, because it's not an isolated incident. You know what I mean? This has been going on. This has been going on for my parents. This has been going on for my grandparents. This has been going on for my lineage. So it's just kind of like I like to tell my friends when we talk amongst each other about this. It's like we're the first free generation, so it's a lot on our shoulders, just like spiritually, just energetically. It's intense. So, and we're seeing kind of the change that our ancestors have fought for, which is great, but also, change comes with a lot of, you got to go through the dark to get to the light, and we're feeling all of the emotions that come with it. So I'm okay. Today's a good day. Today's actually a good day. I woke up, I meditated, I worked out, I took a shower, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm making sure that I give myself time for like just personal space and just really being in my personal space right now. So today's good.
That's good. That's good. That's good to hear
Yeah.
today's good because it has been very heavy. And I feel
Very heavy.
that even for me, I don't, do you know what? I don't have any words. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I just can't, like you said, I can't believe that I'm talking about it in my generation. I'm
Right.
only 28 and I remember my
Mm-hmm.
parents talking about it, my grandparents talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I'm talking about it and I have a daughter who is,
Yeah.
even though she doesn't understand, but she's still, within that generation where things are happening. And it's just, I just can't believe that
Are still
we're still
talking about
living
it.
in a world where we have to protest for our race to matter. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like for me, my emotions fluctuate. There's times where I feel so
Yeah.
angered, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
times where I feel like, you know what, no, I need to, feel empowered and kind of support people and kind of,
Right.
educate myself and research and try to help people with their mental health. Because although it's, about police brutality and fighting for civil rights, all of
It's
this is
bigger
going to
than that.
affect, it's going to affect us psychologically.
Yeah.
This is generational trauma.
This is
And
generational trauma.
you know
Yeah.
it's it's all good, what we're doing, and we're protesting, and we're helping each other and we're supporting each other and we're encouraging each other, but the effects on our mind is going to
Yeah.
be ongoing. And for me, there's been times where I just had to just sit back and just think like, what next? Like, I'm always thinking in my head like, what
Mm-hmm.
next? Like, what's going to happen next? And you know, for many people, you know, that's very anxiety provoking. It's just like, why must
Yeah.
I think what next? You know, why am
Yeah.
I having conversations and thinking, okay, so what's going to happen next? You
You
know,
know why? Because we've never lived in a society, we've never had experience of not being discriminated against.
mm,
So it's heavy. It's not like we're holding on to it at all. It's very much so what's next. It's very much so, you know how you've been in a toxic relationship with somebody for all of your life, and you know
mm,
you're kind of scared because you're not sure what it's going to be like once you break up with them, what life is going to be like on the other end. You
mm,
know, it's kind of like that. We Black people have across the world have been in a toxic relationship with the world since we've been in existence. And
mhm,
so, I mean, yeah, people are out there, they're protesting on our behalf, they're posting things, you know, corporations want to donate, everyone's all about it now, but like for us, it's a spiritual, psychological, emotional, energetic thing. You know what I mean? I got PTSD just watching the video of
yeah,
George Floyd. I had PTSD. I couldn't, I was affected, physically affected the next 2 days from that. I
mhm,
remember the day after, the first time I watched it, I caught myself being desensitized because I've seen it so much. We've seen ourselves getting hung from trees. We've seen ourselves getting hosed by water fountain, you know, water hoses. We've seen ourselves getting attacked by dogs and shot in the street. We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen
mm,
our death thousands and thousands of times in our lifetime. So watching that, I caught myself being desensitized, and I'm like, damn, they killed another Black person. Like, fuck, you know?
mm.
Sorry. This is how I talk. And so I kind of, it was stuck in the back of my mind, but I kind of went on my day. But I was just like, dang, what did I just see? Did I just see another, like a real life public lynching? What did I just see here? But I went along with my day. The next morning, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and like my body was like shaking, and I felt my muscles all tensed up, and I couldn't relax, and I felt anxious and like just really heavy. And I was like, man, what's going on with me? And I just felt depressed and sad. And that whole day, I remember just walking around the house, not being able to focus, not being able to sit still. I couldn't even make my own breakfast. It was just like, you know, and it's like, who do I talk to? What do I do with, I didn't know what was going on with me. And
Mhm.
then I had a conversation with my dad, and he was feeling the same way. And we just really had to just talk each other down for the next like 2 hours, trying to figure out what we just saw, what that means for
Mhm.
us. We had to try to weed out this helplessness because we're not that. You know, we're strong people. We're not helpless at all.
Mm.
But then at the same time, when you're trying to fight, when you're trying to survive, when you're trying to uphold your own humanity, then you get we see that you get beat down more. It's like what what is going, you know, what is going on? What is going on?
Mm.
What what is going,
Yeah.
what do you want, what do you want us to do? You know, what are we
Mhm.
supposed to do as people, as human
Mhm.
beings in this world where you literally have no human laws to yourself? You can't even try to save yourself from dying. That's called resisting. You know, you can't
Mm.
even protect yourself from attack. That's called resisting. You don't have any type of human laws for yourself to even protect your own um, uh, life. You know, when we're
Mhm.
looked at as not being able, we're not even allowed to have the life that we have been blessed to have.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
again, when you're coming up against another race who's supposed to be superior than you, but obviously they're cowardice. So then that's also a mind fuck. Like, these are the weakest people on the planet, but how are they superior to us? You know,
Mm.
that's just where I was at. So it was tough for me.
Mm.
And it's, and like you said, there's not much to say. What do you say? Sometimes there's not much to say,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
that's what it was like for me. That's what it is like for me, like living with what's going on right now. Every single day is different.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And even for me, I kind of feel like, you know how you said you became kind of desensitized to the
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Even for me, I couldn't even, to be honest, I couldn't even watch the video. Like I saw like
Mm.
maybe a couple of seconds of it, and I thought, do you know what, no, I'm not gonna put myself through this mentally, because
Yes.
it's, you know what, as well, especially for people who may have had may have been exposed to, let's say, violence in their past, whether it be childhood
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
adolescence, you know, that can bring up a lot of emotional trauma. And
Yeah.
for me, I don't like violence. I've never, I'm sure not who likes violence.
Right.
So
Right.
to
Who
actually
likes?
see it,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's I'm on the fence when it comes to showing things on social media, particularly when it's showing a killing of someone, because yes, you know, we need to know what's going on and we need to kind of feel these emotions, because
Right.
our emotions are healthy and our
Yeah.
emotions are going to help us and guide us onto the next steps.
Right.
But then
Right.
on the other hand, it's like, okay, now I've just seen this, you know, it's, you know, you can feel kind of desensitized, you can feel disassociated from the situation and
Mm-hmm.
not know how to behave, not know how to think, not even know
Yeah.
how to comprehend. You know,
Yeah.
it's not often that we shouldn't even be seeing things like that on social
No.
media.
We see our
Um,
demise all the time.
but it's the, you know, and it's like, so if it's sensitive footage, why is it being spread around so
Shown.
much? You know, I feel
Yeah.
like if it was shown in a more protective way, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe on the
Mm-hmm.
news or maybe, you know, on a platform that can kind of handle how it's going to affect people. But
Right.
for it to just be shown like constantly on social media, like, you know,
Yeah.
people are just going to be flicking up, and it's like
Right.
you then, like you said, you then disattach yourself from what's happening because you're just flicking up. Oh, it's just another black person, let's flick up, what's the next post?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of on a fence with that. But you know, like I said, I do think it's helpful that we actually see these things, because in the
Yeah.
UK we don't get to see obviously what's
Mm.
happening in America. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just
Yeah, I
a
think
lot.
our American history with Black people has just been traumatic. It's only been traumatic, you know. It's only been traumatic. It's only been, you know, a matter of our death, our torture, our demise in some sort of way. You know, our discrimination, our it's just always been just very torturous and very hard and very like gut wrenching and all of those things. And yeah, it's like no one really cares because
Mm,
we do see our demise online, on TV, in documentaries all the time, and it's never in a way that it's like maybe this kind of hurts their feelings.
mm-hmm.
Let's let's
Be a bit.
let's censor it a little bit, you know, maybe not show the actual death, the slow dying and death, and then, you know, let's maybe not show that. If you look up right now online, American lynchings, you see just pictures of Black people hanging from trees and their bodies are burning and they're, you know, it's like just looking at that and seeing
Mm,
your ancestors and your family members like that, and there's nothing that they could have done, and it's legal, it's completely legal. You
mm,
know, you can do that if you wanted to one a person that looks like that and it be okay. You
mm,
know, it's like no one gives us grace to to just be normal, you
mm,
know. No
mm,
one just gives us the grace that we deserve as human beings to not see death all the time of our
mm,
people just for being who we are, you know.
mm, mm. I kind of, and that's important as well. And I kind of feel like the narrative of that should change. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you know, yes, there's going to be people who want to see that and kind of, you know, want to learn from that and kind of, you know, do what they need to do for that. But I think,
Right.
like you said, put it somewhere or have it somewhere where it's sensitive. You know,
Yeah.
not, yeah, it's so
Or
true.
it's
It's so, and I feel
censored.
like we've got a long way to go, a
Yeah.
long way to go with this. It's just
A
the
long way
beginning.
to go.
It's literally just the beginning.
Hmm.
You know, in the UK, they've started to take down statues
The
of,
statues, that was
yeah,
wonderful. I saw
and
that.
I think that made me feel good. That made me feel proud
Hmm.
at the fact
Hmm.
that they're actually doing something, because that's action. You know,
Yeah, that's
that's
action.
actually taking action. Because I never thought about it until I watched the news where one guy was talking about, you know, seeing statues of these people can also add to your trauma subconsciously.
Absolutely. It's terrorizing. It's
Mm,
terrorizing. I went on a civil rights tour in between Georgia and Alabama the year before last with my mom. And we drove through Selma. And I don't know if you know about Selma, Alabama. That is where they had the Bloody Sunday March with Martin Luther King. And it's funny. Here's the irony. Because when all this started, a lot of people were posting the picture of that day with Martin Luther King holding hands with people and marching, you know, and they're saying, this is a protest. This is how you protest. This was peaceful. But they don't understand that that day, the police came and shot up everybody and, you know, beat up all the whole crowd and sick dogs and everything. It's called Bloody Sunday. That turned into Bloody Sunday because of the police. So it's like you have to tell the whole story. So, you know, in Selma, Alabama, that bridge that they protested on that turned into Bloody Sunday. It's called the John Pettis Bridge. Now, the John Pettis is the Grand Master of the Ku Klux Klan. And so everybody that lives in that town who crosses that bridge to get out of that town daily has to cross over the John Pettis Bridge, who is the Grand Marshal of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, seeing that stuff is terrorizing every single day. You know what I mean? And that's a Black neighborhood. You don't go and you don't put like Hitler statues in a Jewish community. You don't do that. You know, you don't have Stalin statues, you know, in like Russian communities. You don't do that. So it's like we are constantly traumatized by this American history. But I also say if this is the American history and if this is the like you guys' history as well, and everybody wants to preserve that, but then at the same time, no one knows about Black history. So how do you can't choose what history that you want to be a part of when it's all goes hand in hand. You know American history and you want to uphold that history, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know anything about Black people. And it's like, how do you not when it's American history, you know? And you can't choose history that terrorizes the rest of your people. That was great when I saw the statue go down. That was amazing. That was action. That was great. And it's like, we don't need to see these people that have terrorized us put on these pedestals.
Exactly. Because then that's, you know, that's encouraging the white privilege, you know.
It encourages them. It's okay.
Because if the statue's up there, you can't really say anything anyway, because, you know, this is a monument. People when they come to this country, they go to those specific areas to see those statues, to hear about those statues, and it's very downgrading, and, you know.
They're very downgrading. You know, and I think that it's so emotional for all of us because we're finally allowed to feel our feelings about it. Like we move through life suppressing all of these feelings because you're going to have to walk by the statue. You can't cry about it every time you see it. You know, you can't cry about these things every single time you see them, and you see them daily. You can't cry about the little microaggressions that you experience. You can't cry about this stuff all the time. So we have to suppress our anger, our emotions, our sadness. And I think now with all of this, I mean, every Black person is just feeling all this suppressed emotion that we weren't able to vocalize. You know, if your boss is terrorizing you, and if your boss at work is, you know, discriminating against you, you can't say anything. You have to take that. You can't say anything, you know. But now we have the space to speak up about it. So a lot of things are coming out. It's just the beginning. Everything has to come out to the open, you know?
Definitely. And, you know, as you said, like, it's just the beginning and everything has to come out in the open. But I do hope that it comes out in a way, like I keep advocating for, very sensitively, because yes, it's coming out, and yes, we're vocalizing how we feel. But remember, like you said, we've been suppressing these emotions for many years, even on a subconscious level. And to be bombarded too much with, you know, Black Lives Matter, or how can we help you, or what can we do?
Yes.
To process that, that's actually a lot to process. And it's just like, hold on a minute, like, I'm just coming to grips with the fact that I even have a voice.
Yes.
And now you want me to kind of, you know, implement more. So it needs to be handled with care, and it needs to be handled sensitively in the right time manner, not on a, okay, right, now we've done this, next. Like,
now
it needs to be, it needs to be handled with care. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Thank you for saying that. That's perfect. It needs to be handled with care, because I mean, I appreciate, you know, my white friends reaching out and saying, we stand with you, and, you know, how can we help you? And but like you said, it's like, I'm dealing with this. Like, I need space right now to deal with what this means for me. you know, and it's not time for me to deal with what this means for you. And
Mm,
how can I appease you and let you into my world? Because
mm,
now you're interested and now you're
yeah,
seeing, now you care. So now I have to be open to you. And it's not
yes.
about you, it's a personal time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot individually as Black people, we have a lot to deal with within ourselves.
Mm,
And it's like, now that I have a voice, what am I going to say?
yeah.
You know, what am I going to say?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to, how am I going to use this for me?
Mm. And
I'm
it's like you said,
appreciative, but
like
it
you
needs to
said,
be handled with care.
and it's like you said, like the psychological impact. Like now I have a voice.
Right.
You know, yes, there may be some people who can actually vocalize what they want with their voice,
Right.
and you know we need those people. But then
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you know, there's going to be people who may not know how to vocalize their voice and may not know what to say and how to say it in the right way. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how do we support those people who, you
Right.
know, can't really vocalize how they feel, how they're thinking,
Right.
and yeah, it's just a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah, it's even kind of explaining it. It's just a lot, and it's very. At the same time, I'm happy
Yeah.
because everyone deserves a voice. You know,
Yes.
no one should have to kind of fight for a voice. That's thinking about it. Yeah, it just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a lot to take in, and
Right.
you know what? We just pray and
Mm-hmm.
we need to have the strength. We will have the strength because you know I know people don't like that saying black people are strong or the strong black woman or the strong black man, but I do feel that I do believe we are strong.
Right. You
And
know what's been helping me,
mm,
because what's been helping me is literally keeping to myself and just doing things that make me happy,
mm,
doing things, you know, tasks that I probably haven't done, and, you know, getting those done, creating checklists and checking off my checklist, just really just being in my space and doing things that make me happy, you know, because I feel like when you do that, that brings out the emotions in a gentle way. And then it gives you the time to express them in a way that, um, I guess you can communicate, because it's easy to sit here and think about all this stuff.
mm,
It's easy to sit here and think about it, but and you don't want all the negative energy to come out,
in the wrong way.
in a wrong way, and then it affects you. So I just feel
Mm,
like, you know, for people out here who don't know, who are struggling with dealing with this on a daily, do something each day that makes you happy. You
mm,
know, even if it's like you're eating your favorite ice cream, you know, watching Disney movies. Like I went to the beach yesterday. Oh my gosh, I didn't know how much I needed to go to the beach, and just be in a tranquil environment and allow whatever that's been holding up inside of me just to come out. You know,
mm,
go to the park, sit outside, read something. You have to do something different, do something
yeah,
else, and it has to be something that makes you specifically happy. You know, that really works.
definitely. Yeah, and I like how you said do something that helps you with your energy and helps you
Yeah,
release that, you know, good, those feel good chemicals.
yeah,
Like I said, you went to the beach and that was nice for you. And I think it's really important now that we actually, although with what's been going on, we still take time for ourselves
yeah.
as well and doing things that help us. Um,
Being kind to yourself and gentle through this time. This is a time. This is a time.
yeah, a
So
lot's been
being
going on.
kind and gentle with yourself. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, so thank you for talking about that. Thank you for sharing how you feel. I hope that it has actually helped you just to kind of offload your emotions and just kind of
Hmm.
speak about how you feel, you know, and just be open and honest.
Yeah.
Let's get onto something a bit more uplifting.
Go ahead.
So yeah, last time we spoke, we were talking for ages.
Oh yeah, we were. We
And
were.
we were talking about books, we were talking about, you know,
Uh-huh.
things that we want to kind of manifest into the
Yeah.
universe. So what have you been doing to take care of your self-care?
Um. Well, what have I been doing? Oh, you know what? I haven't met. I started meditating every day, and meditating is a practice that I've been telling myself to do. You know, you tell yourself to do it and then you just don't do it. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But I'm on day 5.
Oh
I'm
wow,
good.
that's actually really good.
You know what I mean? I
Mm.
wake up every morning and I literally do it. I make it a habit. I want to be a meditator and I'm making it a habit. And then after that, I go and I work out outside in the park. And that's been really, really helping me too. So I start off my day meditating and then I go and I work out. You know, and for me, it's just creating a, a, um, a routine
Yeah.
and finding a new way to thrive within this time, you know, because you do have to keep going, you do have to move forward. And it's like, okay, let me find a way to thrive within this. First we had to do it with quarantine because it was like, what, we're all at home, what does this mean? So we all had to like gather ourselves and find a new way to thrive in that way. And so now it's like the world is turning upside down with this whole like racial thing. You have to find a new way to thrive. So creating a new routine for myself, I guess implementing my own routine as well, and doing things that make me happy, and uh, finding a way to thrive. Yeah.
I love that. I love how you said, I love also how you said creating a new routine,
Yeah.
because one thing with life is that life is always going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when life changes and we don't change with that change, then
Yeah, you get drunk.
we get stuck, and then it's like, oh, you know, I'm still in quarantine mode. Now I have to kind of keep up with the racial mode. Like, what's next? Like, you know, we have to always
Right.
keeping up. So I love how you said keep
Yes.
thriving, and you know, just adapting your routine to the change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing that, you know, I still have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice to kind of hear that, you know, you still have that mentality, and it's
Mm-hmm.
helping you during these times. So that's nice.
Yeah. I had to decide though. You have to make the decision. You have to make
Mm.
that decision that you want to move forward. You know, I did take a whole week to where it's probably a week and a half to where I did not know anything. You know,
And
I
that's
don't.
okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Didn't know much. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm slowly coming out of it and creating another space for myself that I can maneuver and thrive in during this time. Yeah.
That's lovely. That's
Yeah.
lovely. Okay. So how do you feel about opening up questions? Because we have a few questions. How do
Open
you?
up the questions. Do
Okay.
it.
All right. I don't know how to. Okay. Let's see how we go with this one. Okay. Let's see. Oh, these are just mainly comments about you are absolutely right. All I see is two beautiful women who are awake. Then my last question is, what is your next move? Okay, not really a question. Let's see what people are saying.
Oh, now I see.
Yeah, they weren't really. Hi from Greece.
Mm.
Okay, thank you guys. Let's turn off these comments. Okay, so what have you got planned before we come to an end? Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're
It
welcome.
is so appreciative.
This is a good little
You know,
talk for sure.
it's nice to actually reflect and just talk
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of get things off our chests and off our
Mm-hmm.
shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got planned for the rest of your day today?
Oh. What have I got planned for? You know what I started doing? Well, I didn't start doing this. I got this idea last night from, I think his name is James Seltzer or someone that I follow. And he says, you know, take the night before to plan your next day. I didn't do that last night, but I'm going to do that. But I'm actually creating a skincare line. So I'm going to be working on that
Oh,
today. Yeah.
lovely, lovely.
Creating a
Well, keep me
skincare line.
informed. You know,
We will, of
you've got the
course, for
support down
sure.
here.
Excuse me?
And yeah, I said, you know, you've got the support down here in the UK.
Oh, we love the UK. I've never been, but I'm going.
Never been. You have to come
It's a
down.
scandal. I am going. I'm going this summer. I put that on my vision board. I'm like, I don't know how, universe. I told you this is what I wanted, so here, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely come down. You know, you're always welcome, and you know you have the support here. We will love you here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, thank you,
So
thank you so
yeah,
much.
thank you. Have a great day and keep in touch.
Thanks, Shar.
No
Everyone, bye everyone.
worries.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. So thank you everyone for joining the Instagram live with me and Eugenia. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. We did speak about a lot, which can be quite emotional provoking. So if anyone needs to speak, or if anyone may have felt triggered by what we discussed, then do send me an email or do send me a DM and we can maybe discuss things further. But for now, see you later.